Hi, welcome to this video class. In this video, we are going to learn the characteristics of living beings. How can you say that something is living or it is a non-living? Yes, how do we know that something is living? And in general, we know the common characteristics of the living things that they move. The animals or human beings, they move. But even the plants, they cannot move, but even we consider the plant as a living. So how can we distinguish based on that character whether a plant is living or non-living? It cannot move, but we consider it as a living. At times, you will see that the growth is a common factor in the plants and animals. But at times, we observe that the clouds even which grow in size, but we consider the clouds as a non-living thing. So how can we distinguish whether a particular thing is a living or they are non-living? So what characteristics make them whether it is a living or non-living? So let us discuss few characteristics of the living beings and also try to know or how can we differentiate whether it is a living or non-living. So the first characteristics, yes, do all the living things need food? Yes, we all the organisms we need food. Without food can we survive? We can't, right? Then what does food gives us? It gives us energy, that is which is needed for the growth. Organisms also need this energy for other life processes that go on inside them. Then where do we get this food from? Yes, we get food from plants. So directly or indirectly we get the food from plants and also the animals through the process of photosynthesis. And that food is required by the organisms to get energy that is needed for them to grow. And even this food is also required to perform the different life processes in an organisms. So all the living things, they need food. Do the non-living things, do they need food? Think about it. Yes. Do all the living things show growth? Yes. Growth seems to be common to all the living things. Yes, when you are in class 2, what is the height of yours, and now you are in class 6, is there any improvement in the size of your height? Yes. So, the size or the growth is a common factor which is seen in all the living organisms, and in few years you are going to become an adult. So, growth seems to be common in all the living things. You might have observed that the chicken hatching from an egg, it either grows into a hen or a cock, or the pups of a dog which grow into an adult. So all the living things, they show growth. Do you think non-living things cannot show growth? Yes, is the growth seen in the non-living things? Try to pose a question to yourself and answer. And the next important characteristic is, do all the living things respire? Can we live without breathing? Yes, we just take in the air from outside. During inhalation, we breathe in air from outside, and during exhalation, we just leave the air from inside. Breathing is a part of a process known as respiration. So what do you mean by respiration? It is the taking in and it is the process of inhalation and exhalation, taking the air in and taking the air out. So respiration is necessary for all living organisms. It is through respiration that the body finally obtains energy from the food it takes. So without respiration, without the process of respiration, energy is not being utilized by the body. We inhale the oxygen and also exhale the gas known as carbon dioxide. So that happens to the process of respiration. And you also observe the animals while they are taking rest. You just see the movements that take place in the abdomen region. So these movements indicate that the organism is undergoing the process of respiration. But The process of respiration is different in different animals. Earthworm, it breathes through their skin, whereas fish breathe through the gills. And whereas plants, they respire through leaves. As the leaf consists of small pore-like structures known as stomata, it is with the help of these stomatal structures the plants respire. So, all the living things have a common characteristic. It is that they all undergo the process of respiration. You just think that, is that possible for a non-living thing? Do all the non-living things respire? You just think and answer it. Yes. Now, one more characteristic is that, do all living things respond to stimuli? Stepping on a sharp object. Just when you walk on a road without chappals, when you step on a sharp object, what do? Yes, you might withdraw your leg. Or when you place your hand, when it is heated, when you just place your hand on a hot object, what does you do? You just withdraw your hand. So it is nothing but you are responding to the stimuli. Can you face the bright sunlight? No, you can't. You just start blinking of your eyes when a light is focused on your eye. How do you feel when you think or see your favorite food? Yes, your saliva starts secreting in the mouth. In the sense, you are responding to that. So changes in our surroundings that make us respond to them are called as stimuli. So, do all the plants and animals respond to the stimuli? When you flash a bright light on the eye of an animal, it runs away. Or when you just go near a bird, what does it do? It fly off. So, it is nothing but it is responding to the stimuli. So, all the animals respond to the stimuli. But whereas plants, even do they respond to the stimuli? Is a plant known as touch me not, which is known as Mimosa pudica. When you touch the leaves of that plant, they fold. In the sense, they are responding to the stimuli. Or you just take a potted plant, well potted plant, and keep it near a little away from the window, and you just try to water it regularly and see whether the plant grows upright or does it take a bend. And also you see that you place the plant in such a way that the light or the sunlight enters through that window. So what do you observe? The plants here, they just try to take a bend and grow towards the window. The reason is that the plant there is responding to the sunlight. So all the living things respond to changes around them, and we call that change as a stimuli. Can you see that in a non-living things? Do all the non-living things, do they respond to the stimuli? Then, and another characteristic is that living organisms and excretion. We organisms need food. Yes, we take in the food. We all need food for our growth. But is that the food taken by you, do your body completely utilize that? Some of the food is being utilized by the body, and whereas the rest of the food is being it is being produced as a waste in the body. So this process of getting rid of waste by the living organisms, we call it as excretion. If we do not excrete, what happens? So all these waste material, they just accumulate and become toxic to the organism. So the excretion is must in the living organisms. Do plants also excrete? Yes, even the plants too even excrete. So the unwanted materials which are being secreted as a waste material, they are being stored in a plant, so that doesn't interrupt with the growth of a plant. So even plant excrete through the process of secretions. So excretion is another characteristic common to all the living things. You just think whether this excretion is seen in non-living things. Yes. Another important characteristic is the process of reproduction. So do all the living things reproduce their own kind? Yes. Animals reproduce their own kind. So the mode of reproduction may be different in different animals. You might see that the birds lay the egg where a small bird just hatches and comes out. So the small organism is coming out from the egg. So the process of reproduction here, it lays the egg, so the new organisms reproduce there. But whereas in few organisms, they directly give birth to the young ones. The process may be different, but all the organisms undergo the process of reproduction. Then how is the process of reproduction seen in plants? It might be a slight different. Yes, so the process of reproduction in plant or a new plant, it just grows with the help of a seeds. The seed germinate and gives rise to a plant. So it is also the process of reproduction. And apart from that, there are few plants even without the presence of a seed, they germinate and they just grow into a new plant. So those parts which help the plant to grow either from a stem or from a leaf. For example, you just take a potato and try to select an eye of it, and if you just keep it under the soil, you will observe a plant which is coming out from that bud. So the process of reproduction in a plant may take place with the help of a seed or even the different parts of a plant, such as from the root system or from the stem or through the leaves. So living things reproduce more of their own kind through the process of reproduction. Yes, do all the living things move? Yes, all living things seems to have some common characteristics. Yes, all the living things, they move. They all need food, respire, they reproduce, show movement, grow and die. So, based on all these characteristics, we can differentiate a living and a non-living thing, while non-living things may not show all these characteristics. Thank you. Meet you in the next video.